How do you top Avengers Endgame? How do you top a movie that is a culmination of a decade of movies and character building and plots that are all woven together to make this movie? $2.7 billion. And that's the age-old question for anything that goes viral or anything that is record-breaking. What do you do next? How do you top what you've already done? We live in a world where it's what have you done for me lately? Bigger, better, badder, greater. How's it going, everybody? Chaos here, and welcome to the channel. I want to say a huge thank you for all the support on the Spider-Man video that I put up yesterday. If you want to know a way Apple may actually get involved with Marvel and Sony to bring Spider-Man back to the MCU, check out that video after you watch this one. And I just, once again, thank you for all the support, guys. This is kind of a test, and we're going to continue with the test. So, we are going to discuss many things today. We're going to discuss Avengers 5. We're going to discuss Phase 4 and what exactly we should expect when it comes to all the movies and all the Disney Plus series. Who are going to be the bad guys that we build up and we get in the future? So, the Infinity Saga is over. And I think it's pretty safe to say if you're a Marvel fan or a comic book fan, it was a success. But it also took a long time in the oven, which is what made it so successful. We had to build out the Avengers. We had to flesh out all of the characters and their backstories. Then we had to bring all that together against one supervillain in Thanos. Well, what do we do now? And I know there's a lot of people that are worried about that because that was a very nostalgic ride for a lot of people and the ending was pretty crazy. Well, let me tell you, I think we are just getting started. I think you are going to see everything ramped up times 1,000. And it begins with Disney and Marvel. It begins with Disney acquiring back all of these different intellectual properties. The Fantastic Four, the X-Men, everything that comes with that, Deadpool, Silver Surfer, all of that, okay? And then you go from there and you build out the next saga, which I'm going to say, and we talked about it over on Multiverse as well, Secret Wars, Battle World, anybody? We'll talk about that more in a minute. But how do you top a villain like Thanos? Well, maybe you bring two villains to the table, but how do you do it where you don't shoot your shot too quick? Do you want to wait a decade to build it all up, or do you want to go quicker now? Well, we're going to talk about that as well. So let's start off with what's coming in Phase 4 that we know. Movie-wise, Black Widow. I don't think this is going to really build up any tie-in per se when it comes to the next big thing or the next big battle, but what it's going to do is close the chapter on the Black Widow character. Now, at the end of this, we will probably get at least two post-credit scenes that will start the hype, just like we did with Iron Man when Fury showed up at the very end. Then we have the Eternals, which there's a lot of people that don't even really know anything about these celestial godlike creatures. They are going to ramp everything up by 1,000. Think all the powerful Avengers and all the characters and all the villains we've seen so far, and then you have these basically immortal Eternals that are flying around doing their thing. We're going to get into that as well. Then you have Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which is being heralded as the first scary horror Marvel movie, and that one is going to be off its rocker. It is. I've done a little bit of studying, looked at the leaks on that, and then we're going to end Phase 4 with Thor, Love and Thunder. And there's actually a leak out there right now, I don't know how credible it is, that at the end of Thor, Love and Thunder, we will get a Deadpool credit scene. Just a quick something that introduces Deadpool into the MCU in a funny manner, a quick manner before we ever get Deadpool 3. I have no clue how Disney's going to wrap all that up in a bow and use it. We also know all the TV series will be canon. They will be tying into the MCU canon. So we have the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, WandaVision, which is going to tie straight into Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, Loki, which is also going to tie into Thor, Love and Thunder. What If? I don't think those are going to tie in. Hawkeye, Miss Marvel, Moon Knight, and She-Hulk. They have already confirmed that these will be part of the greater universe. So this all kind of starts to create a new building phase when it comes to Marvel, and a new set of Avengers, and a new set of villains. But that doesn't even scratch the surface. What about the Fantastic Four? Well, there's a rumor and a theory going out right now that a Silver Surfer movie is being made, or it's in the production, or not in the production, it's in the staging sequences, and it's actually going to be on the big screen. Silver Surfer is a huge character, but he's also connected to Galactus. He was the Herald of Galactus, the Eater of Worlds, which we'll talk about more here in a second. So a Silver Surfer movie could be tied in. It's not going to be in Phase 4, but it would be in Phase 5. I consider Phase 4 the rebuilding stage. If you're a sports fan and your team dominates for years, and then they trade away or they sell away all their great athletes and they don't have anybody left, they're in a rebuilding stage. Well, we kind of traded away a lot of our great athletes, okay? Now, we have a lot left. Don't get me wrong. We've got a lot to do. We've got Guardians of the Galaxy 3 in Phase 5, Black Panther 2. We've got Doctor Strange. We've got a lot of superheroes, right? But we also lost some superheroes, and we are going to be closing the arc on other superheroes very, very soon. So we have to replenish the ranks. We have to rebuild, and that is what Phase 4 is going to be. It's going to be new character building with the Eternals, with Shang-Chi, things like that. Of course, Thor, Love, and Thunder, where we're going to probably be introduced to Natalie Portman's version of Thor, which would be Mighty Thor, Lady Thor, I don't know. So Phase 4, let's call it a building stage. But it's also going to be an introduction stage to a degree somewhere, whether that be in post-credits, little bits and teasers here when it comes to the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, and Silver Surfer. That's right. There is going to be a Fantastic Four movie, my friends, and then they're going to have to figure out how they're going to bring in the X-Men. I mean, everybody, Wolverine, Professor X, all of them are going to end up in the MCU, and it's all going to culminate. I don't know the time frame, but it's all going to end up culminating in this epic battle. And I'm telling you, I think Secret Wars Battle World. Now, if you remember the huge scene at the end of Endgame, where it was all the Avengers assembled against Thanos and his army. Okay, think of that and then ramp it up by 10,000. That is what Secret Wars Battle World would be. We're talking everybody on a cosmic level, on a grounded level, getting together to stop who? Well, the rumor is it's going to be two. It's going to be a grounded attack and a cosmic attack. And who do you do that better with on the ground? None other than Doctor Doom, who would, of course, tie right in with Silver Surfer and the Fantastic Four. But then you have to have a cosmic level threat, right? Well, how about the Eater of Worlds, Galactus? So the leak that's going around is this is all going to build up. Phase 4, Phase 5, and then eventually we are going to get this massive war where the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, the new Avengers, Silver Surfer, everybody, heck, even Deadpool, are going to have to team up to take on Doctor Doom and Galactus. And if that's the case, that is something to be excited about. And I just, if I were Marvel, Kevin Feige, and MCU, when do you shoot your shot? How do you do this? How methodical do you play this out? Do you really play this out over another decade, or do you ramp things up? You got everybody, you got them hooked. You spent 10 years from Iron Man to the culmination of Avengers Endgame. You got everybody hooked. I think you can ramp it up. I think you could ramp it up and do it in half the time. I don't think we need to wait 10 years for the next big, epic Avengers Endgame. And of course, we're probably going to have an Avengers movie here and there sprinkled in just like we did before we get up there. But when do you actually shoot your shot if you are Marvel? That is the question that I want to know. So I want to know what you're looking forward to, guys. What movies are you looking forward to in Phase 4? I would love to cover all of these for you guys. Me personally, people are sleeping on the Eternals. That movie is going to change the game in a big, big way. I think Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness with Scarlet Witch involved in that is going to be crazy. It is rumored that the villain is going to be Nightmare, which is a whole nother can of worms. And then, of course, Thor, Love and Thunder is going to be the end of Phase 4. It's going to be a wild ride if you're a Marvel fan, guys. It truly, truly is. So you guys, let me know what you think in the comment section. Thank you again for the support on this content. I can't stress that enough. I'm not going to go into detail about what we're doing. You just show up every day, and if you see this content and you like it, and you're a fan of what I'm a fan of when it comes to movies, pop culture, nerd culture, join me on this ride. Drop a like, guys, and I'll see you soon.